And we're back with Roxanne Browning, New York's chocolate sommelier, and we are going to get to the delicious part very soon, pairing wine with chocolate. But first, Roxanne, I wanted to ask you about the health benefits of chocolate. Again, I think another similarity that it shares with wine. But what is the latest research telling us now about chocolate?
Well, almost daily there's reports coming out on the health benefits of chocolate, from heart disease to diabetes to decreasing your blood pressure, your cholesterol. And it's coming from all different studies, all different regions of the world. And I post them whenever I get them, and I distribute that amongst all my readership. But basically, yes, I mean, the more studies that are happening with chocolate, the more they're uncovering its great health benefits. But the big problem, though, that I'm finding is they have these short, blasts of news that you can get on, any, news show and download it, but they don't tell you that, well, it can't be candy. And people run to their nearest grocery store and they buy up, candy bars thinking that, oh, this is great, I can eat all this chocolate now. Nothing could be further from the truth. You've got to choose artisanal chocolate where the first ingredient is chocolate.
Because that's what the health benefit is coming from, the cacao content or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. And the higher the cacao content, like a 70% or higher, you're going to get the greatest, bang for your buck.
And does that mean dark chocolate is the healthiest of all the different types?
Oh, yeah. Yes. As a matter of fact, there's been some studies that if you add milk to chocolate, it negates many of the health properties. So dairy is a no-no in a chocolate. And I've seen some commercial chocolate bars where they list on the package dark chocolate, but when you look at the ingredients, somewhere there's milk and there's whey, and I says, well, again, it's their recipe and they're disguising something.
Sure.
It's the bulk chocolate they're disguising.
Wow. Again, the parallels with wine, there is a hierarchy, if you will, with Pinot Noir and red wines often at the top of the pyramid for health benefits. That's because of the resveratrol content, which is an antioxidant. Is that what also is in chocolate? Okay.
That is also in chocolate. In the cocoa butter, that's where the cocoa butter is where you're going to get your MUFAs, monounsaturated fatty acids. That's something everybody should have every day in their diets. And there's just a few of them: olive oil, nuts and seeds, avocados, and all of that. But yes, the antioxidants are in real chocolate, just like in the wine. So wine and chocolate, I mean, and one other thing that just came out in regards to our reports is that chocolate also helps you lose weight.
Really?
And I can attest to that because I've been swearing by this for at least 10 years before there was any study. What I do is I take a piece of chocolate. Before I started my business, I take a chocolate, piece, a real one, about this big, and I savor it slowly after my lunch and dinner, and it's very satisfying. You get those really rich fats in there that are good for you, and it inhibits you from wanting to reach for a bad fat, like a cookie or a cake or something, because it's just so filling and satisfying.
I am so convinced. Yeah. I'm starting that today. Roxanne recommends chocolate to lose weight and live longer.
Yeah. You should deprive yourself from really quality food in life. I mean, it is a mood enhancer, just like wine, and moderation. Everything goes a long way.
Well, okay. Let's get to the it's not at the immoderate part of the video, but let's get to the tasting. So when we first talked about this, and I had suggested port, you liberated my view that is cliche. Because port is often the pairing with chocolate because we're talking about candy chocolate, but with this real chocolate, you are more a fan of dry red wines. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And why does that work so well? Why doesn't the wine end up tasting bitter with the chocolate?
Well, because I have 50 chocolates to choose from when given a wine to pair it with, I can find the right pairing. I don't have to taste all 50. I mean, I've got it down to an art and a science where I taste a Pinot, for instance. I know not to pair that with a very intense chocolate of a 75% or better because Pinot is a delicate grape. So I may want to try that with a 60%. or 66, and I have several, and also with Fusion. So I'll taste 3 or 4, and then and myself, and if I'm working with a sommelier or a winemaker, will go, oh my God, this is the pairing. We wait for that aha moment where there's a balance between the wine and the chocolate, and one does not overpower the other, and it leaves you with a very nice aftertaste that is just lingers, and it keeps on changing. It's very complex. So that's what I'm looking for when I create pairings. So you can't just, choose any chocolate and put it against any wine. It will taste awful.
Yeah, that's true. But learning which ones taste good or not is the fun part. So I have chosen Massi Amarone, which is a honkin' big red but dry wine from Italy. It's a beautiful wine with a lot of dark cherry flavors, and I just thought I'd give this one a try to see how it works with chocolate, real chocolate. What do you think of an Amarone as a style of wine?
Oh, I love Amarone. It's one
good.
of my favorites. I collect Italian wines, and it doesn't get much better than that.
No, it doesn't. So which wine have you chosen there, Roxanne?
Well, I have a California Red, and the reason why I have that is because I was asked to create a pairing for it.
Should we try? I have got a piece of milk chocolate here and a piece of dark chocolate, and I've got a piece of chocolate with nuts in it, one of those fusion types. Which one would you suggest will work, or which one should we try first?
What's the percentage?
These are good chocolates. I was fearful of getting the wrong chocolates with you. I guess 70% dark chocolate is what I've got for my first one.
All right, the Amarone would probably do well with that one.
Okay.
Well, give it a try.
And do you try to have the chocolate and the wine in your mouth at the same time?
No, what I do is I taste the wine.
Okay. And then you go to the chocolate, I guess?
I taste the chocolate individually. So you have the wine and the chocolate, and you make a mental note of what they both taste like independently of one another. And then you have them together. Okay. So I'm going to start out with a 66 from Peru.
Okay. Oh, I'm liking that. That doesn't taste sugary at all. I am never going back either. That really works. Well, pardon me?
Give yourself a good 30 seconds because you want that long finish. I have to say that the one that I just tried worked very well, but I'm going to continue.
You're my kind of woman.
You really have to make sure.
You do. You have to be thorough in this business. We're doing it for the people.
Somebody's got to do this. I've got I have a 72% here from Tanzania. So I'm going to give that one a try. A little bit more robust, a little bit more tannins, so it may match up to the Zin.
And why do you think that first one? Oh, you go ahead and eat your chocolate. I'll talk while you eat, and then we'll alternate. But I felt that the Amarone and the dark chocolate worked for texture and taste. So the wine was lovely at first, and then I had the chocolate. It melted, and I guess chocolate melts at body temperature, I've heard, but correct me if I'm wrong there.
No, you're right.
Okay, and then the wine came in, and with its acidity and its richness, because the Amarone is a big wine. It's this one's 15% alcohol, but it also has that beautiful black cherry, river of black cherry, and it just carried away the chocolate, refreshing my palate, literally, ready for the next bite. So I just thought they really married well, both in weight and taste. How about for you in that first chocolate?
The first chocolate I thought went better. It was a little bit more fruity, a little bit more acidic, so it balanced out the Zin. I felt that the Tanzania bar was too tannic, and I got an off taste at the end, which is not pleasant.
Off taste in the chocolate or the wine?
Well, both, just not a good combination.
What's happening when when you get the off taste? Is it just one is too powerful, or they're just reacting together and not a?
Yeah, it's a really bad reaction. Yeah, it's like oil and vinegar, I guess, is the best way, unless you really, mix it up, but it just did not taste well.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I'm going to try. Do you think milk chocolate would be horrendous with Amarone, or will it work? Because I know we've got dairy content here.
Well,
So
you got to try it just to see what doesn't work. So I'm
okay,
curious what your reaction is.
I do love milk chocolate, but I'm changing my world slowly here. Okay. Hmm. Oh, that Amarone. The chocolate has the perception too of or creates a perception of almost lightening the wine because the chocolate has this richness and denseness to it. Usually Amarone just hits me because it's a big wine, but this is having the influence of lightening and lifting the wine in a lovely way, like making it almost feel like it's a medium-bodied wine rather than a full-bodied one. I'm liking that.
You got that with the milk or the first chocolate?
The first chocolate.
Okay.
I'm just eating the milk
Yeah,
chocolate
now
now.
that your description sounds right on.
Oh, good. What else
And,
do you have there? Go ahead.
well, texture, as you said, plays a very important role. Mouthfeel. Chocolate
Hmm.
also has mouthfeel to it, and the thickness of the chocolate. For instance, I have this one here from Grenada, which is a very thick chocolate. I'm going to try that next, and it has cocoa nibs in it, which is part of the cacao bean. And some producers elect to put those in there just for crunch and for texture. It's
Oh,
quite
wow.
interesting, yeah.
And so, oh, okay. So you get that crunchy texture. It's not quite the same, but some vintners will include the stems or seeds to get an extra tannin component into their wine,
Hmm.
but you don't get crunchy bits. That's interesting. I'm going to try the wine now after the milk chocolate.
Well,
Hmm.
have them together in your mouth. You
Okay,
mix the chocolate and the wine together in your mouth.
it's just really difficult to talk at the same time. A lot of dead air. But what I am noticing about the milk chocolate is it's more grainy. I think I'm picking up the sugar or something in it. Um, I like the dark chocolate better, and it's a smooth river like the wine itself.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that the better the wine, the better quality chocolate you need.
Okay.
Like an Amarone, like I have Barolos and Super Tuscans, and I
Hmm.
have to have a very fine chocolate with those, with a high cacao content, or else it's just not going to measure up. You need a bold chocolate with a bold wine.
Yeah, the milk chocolate doesn't work. It
Yeah.
just feels wimpy and simple compared to the wine. It feels
And
like there's a grown up and a child or something. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, thank you. Oh, that's a great description. That's very good.
Okay. I still
And
like
I,
milk chocolate, but not with the wine. What were you going to say?
I have actually I pair white wines as well with
You
chocolate.
do?
Yeah,
Oh.
and
Which ones work?
well, again, I have to, it's trial and error, but Chardonnay and Riesling is my general ones that I work with, and I have a white chocolate from the Philippines that
Oh,
really works well with a few of them, along with some spicy fusions. You know how white wine has a lot of spicy notes to it sometimes, or citrus notes.
right. Yes.
I have some chocolates that pair well with that, that have banana or cayenne pepper in there,
Okay.
juniper, and very interesting combinations.
Well, there again, to draw another similarity, those are bridging ingredients. Like when I talk about pairing wine with, say, a salad with perhaps a vinaigrette, people think, oh God, you can't do it. There's vegetables, there's vinaigrette. But if you have some bacon in there that's savory, that can be the bridge that brings the two together and doesn't, then they can work together, the wine and something unusual like that. So I would imagine that I've got one with chocolate with nuts in it. So that's really going to influence the pairing as well.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh, this
I'm
is so
gonna.
much fun.
I have a mocha chocolate from Madagascar that I'm going to try.
Okay, mocha.
And
What makes it mocha?
well, the chocolate maker infused espresso beans.
Oh,
And I have one here from Madagascar that's phenomenal and it's very smooth. And I generally use this one with a full-bodied red. And if I'm going to use it, I usually use it my last pairing because it's such a dynamic way to end an event. People,
Mhm.
it tastes like dessert. When you're having mocha, it's like coffee and chocolate and wine in your mouth.
That just sounds so comforting too, kind of almost smoky and
Mm,
fireside or something.
yeah,
Hmm. I'm back to that dark chocolate. I think I'm going to polish off what I have here.
that one went well with it.
It did it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
nice. I'm
We need a moment.
done. I had a moment.
Well, are there any wines that you feel just don't work? I know it's about experimentation, but have you, in all your trying and experimenting, are there certain types of wines that just don't really work well with most types of chocolate?
I have to say, I have not found an alcoholic beverage that does not pair with a chocolate because
Okay.
I have so many chocolates to choose from. And when I'm in the wine world, which is 99% of what I do, there is not a wine that I have not found a match for. But just to give you an idea, I don't necessarily need to have very expensive wines to pair. Um, a lot of producers that I work with, wine producers, have wines that are reasonably priced, and the
Okay.
chocolate makes their wines drink up. So you could have a $20 bottle that could taste like a 50 with the chocolate.
Wow, I'll drink to that. In fact, I'll keep drinking to that. Roxanne, this was a lot of fun. I mean, you have ruined me in terms of chocolate. I'm not going the candy aisle anymore. But there is a world of difference here and a world of pleasure. So thank you for opening that up. And I love to chat with you again sometime because I know this is a big topic and you know a lot about it. So
Oh, anytime, I'd love to. Thank you so much, Natalie.